We stopped selling at the mothership because nobody's buying it. It got that bad.
You know, what's going on there?
It's nuts. It's stupid. I think it's stupid, and Shane Gillis brought it back a lot.
I love Shane.
Just when you think people like Joe Rogan and Kid Rock are actually starting to wake up, they do things like this. As you can see on the screen right here, this tweet from Myth Informed says, on Joe Rogan, Kid Rock explains why he's dropped his grudge against Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney. However, the motivations to hire Dylan Mulvaney aren't discussed. ESG scores. Forgiveness is fine, but shouldn't the CEO explain why corrupt ESG pressures created the chaos in the first place? And I've been hyping up Joe Rogan recently, saying he's been saying a lot of base things, right? When it comes to Donald Trump, when it comes to Joe Biden, when it comes to a lot of things that are happening in the United States right now, in the Western world right now, in the woke area of the world right now. And it's been really good to see someone like Joe Rogan and other people like Russell Brand, you know, as well as Joe Rogan, who used to be liberals, are now calling out the liberals and calling out the woke side of things. And it seemed like Joe Rogan was waking up, and not just waking up, but not being scared to talk about the fact that he is waking up, because a lot of people, they're awake, but when they have big platforms like Joe Rogan has with, you know, his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, they don't want to actually make these opinions known that they hold. But Joe Rogan seemed like he was on that route to making these opinions known. And now he drops his podcast with Kid Rock, and there's clips like this coming out of it where he's basically defending Bud Light and saying everybody who's still boycotting Bud Light and still mad at Dylan Mulvaney and the whole Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light situation altogether, I believe he calls them low IQ or just dumb or stupid within this clip. So let me know in the comments how you're feeling. Like, do you feel the same way as Joe Rogan and Kid Rock, that the Bud Light stuff is overblown at this point? We shouldn't still be holding a grudge against them. Have you forgiven them? Personally, like, it'll never be forgiven in my opinion. But let me know in the comments. Like, I'm very open to the discussion. Let me know if I'm wrong. But let's check out this clip here from Joe Rogan and Kid Rock talking about the Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney situation and bending the knee to them altogether.
That they look back on and fucking go, shit!
Oh, dude, I've talked to him about it.
I know you have.
Yeah, you were there at the UFC fight.
Yeah, and I met that dude, the CEO.
Brendan.
He's a good guy, man.
We've become friends.
He's a good guy.
He's a great guy. After 5 minutes of talking to him, I'm with Trump there in Dana's green room. I go to Trump, I go, see that dude behind me? I go, that's the CEO of Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch. and Trump's like, you want to go talk to him? Which in my mind, Trump said, you want to go fuck with him? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. So we go over there, we're talking to him. We actually had a great conversation. And at some point, he was telling me how he got the video. And he was actually down in Texas doing some hunting. And I'm like, we talk and talk, and I'm not going to share all our conversation. That'd probably be inappropriate. But I'm like, dude, you seem like somebody I'd fucking be friends with, that I'd hang out with. He's like, you would. That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, I'll come to Nashville. Come visit me. He fucking did.
That's awesome.
Came with his top team. Fucking, we broke bread. Got fucked up on Bud Light. We fucking bowled. Like, did all this fun shit. And we had a good meeting beforehand, trying to think if there's something I could do with Anheuser-Busch, and I just didn't feel comfortable with it. You know, I just threw out some ideas that scared the living fuck out of them. And at the end of the day, I was like, guys, I don't feel right taking your money. I was like, I go, we can continue the conversation, see where it ends up, but honestly, I don't want any corporate deals. I don't feel right. There's not a penny on earth that could make me change who I am or have people look at me in a different way.
Right.
You know, even though it's probably half the country at this point that likes me and the other half wants to put a bullet in me. Like, I understand that. There's no like, he's okay.
Right.
I've destroyed that. There's no, Kid Rock's okay. It's either I fucking hate that kid
or I love that dude.
Yeah.
Well, that's how literally everyone is, though. As long as you actually hold opinions and you're not too scared to say them. If you hold opinions nowadays and they're not exactly in line with, you know, one of the two sides, then you're going to have people who absolutely hate you and who absolutely love you on both sides, especially when it comes to like the woke left. Like, if you don't fully align with every single one of their views and you deviate just the tiniest bit, then they'll absolutely eat you alive. And then if you agree, 90% with their views, then the right is obviously not going to love you. And then you also disagree with them 10%, small amount, but they'll still absolutely hate you because you don't fully align with them. So yeah, whenever you actually hold opinions nowadays, people are going to get angry with you. That doesn't mean you should give up on your convictions and say, oh, the CEO, he seems like a nice dude, but he platformed some really mentally ill people that was promoting other people to become mentally ill and celebrated because for the simple fact of them having a mental illness. That doesn't mean we should just forgive that and forget about it. In my opinion, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong.
I'll take a bullet for him.
Yeah.
But, we still talk. And
that's a better place to be, honestly.
And like I said, you know what I mean? They fucked up. And when you get to the grassroots of it, that's what they did. And there's so many people that work for that company, and all the stuff they've done. We don't have to be a broken record here.
It's a great company.
Right. And
they've done amazing things. Anheuser-Busch is an amazing charitable company that they do a lot of great things.
Yeah, and I dug into that, and I was educated on it. Even before Dana called me about his deal and things like that, people discussed with me. I did a little digging and talked to people. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, all right, they got the message. Like, I'm not...
Doesn't it kind of feel like they got paid? In my opinion, it feels like they got paid off here. I think that they're bringing out, they're bringing out the wheelbarrows. They're dumping the pocketbooks into people like Joe Rogan and Kid Rock and Dana White with the UFC. Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch are trying very, very hard to save face. And I think they're probably just, bringing the checkbooks out and saying, how much do you want, man? Talk positively about us and we'll give you whatever the hell you want. That's what it seems like to me. Joe Rogan never seemed like the type of guy to sell out like that to me before. But I don't know, man. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling.
Someone who holds a fucking grudge his whole life. You know what I mean? And honest to God, I was having a lot of fucking fun. I don't get to pull my machine gun out and film myself doing cool shit too often. I'm just not that type of person. But I was like, this warrants it right here. Get all the Bud Light on property. That was actually all the beer I had on property. I kept a lot of that shit around, more than I thought.
We stopped selling it at the mothership because nobody's buying it. It got that bad.
What's going on there?
It's nuts. It's stupid. I think it's stupid, and Shane Gillis brought it back a lot.
I love Shane. It's
not stupid. What you have to understand is Bud Light, the product itself, is not good. Like, there's nothing great about the product of Bud Light itself. The reason why people bought Bud Light before is because it's convenient, it's cheap, and the brand is recognizable. That's the only reason why. So whenever the brand is the main reason why you buy a beer, and then the brand absolutely self-destructs and ruins itself, then of course people aren't going to buy Bud Light because there's options that taste, just as bad. Like the product itself is just as bad, it's just as cheap, and the brand didn't self-destruct. The brand didn't ruin itself. So it's not that stupid. It's not that insane for people to not buy Bud Light. It's just like how it works. Whenever the brand is the main reason why you buy a certain beer, and then the brand ruins itself, of course people aren't going to buy it because the main reason why people were buying it is now gone. It's not stupid. It's not even that crazy.
But he's the best.
Yeah.
He brought it back a lot, because he never stopped drinking it. And, it's slowly making its way back, and I think the UFC helps a lot too. But they took a big hit.
One of the things I told them was, I was like, I go from the outside looking in, guys, as a friend, somebody who doesn't want to see this brand hurt and destroyed anymore. Like, you got smacked on the ass.
Yeah.
And a pretty hard spanking. I was like, but I don't want to hold your head underwater and drown this fucking company, put people out of work and that shit. It's like, you got the message, and it's clear. I wish people knew these guys running the company because they're great fucking guys. But I said, there's just a percentage of these fucking trolls on the left and on the right. They're like, I'm so empowered by the internet. Yeah. I'm going to piss and bitch and moan and, I have a voice. It's like, go fuck yourself. All right, cut it out. Like, if anyone's still spending time on this, you clearly are fucking bored. Find something better to do.
Yeah, it's definitely the pursuit.
You're not spending time on it by not purchasing the beer. Like, it's not like you're spending all day, every day contemplating about how you're not going to buy a Bud Light later. It's like you're just not buying it. It's not that deep. And that's what makes me feel like they're definitely paid off by saying stuff like this, because what they're saying doesn't even make any sense. Like, I don't think many people are really talking about the Bud Light situation anymore until people like Joe Rogan or Kid Rock start to talk about Bud Light again. But they're still not buying it. It's not like you're taking time and energy out of your day to not buy Bud Light. So it's not that insane. They're just simply saying, I don't agree with what Bud Light stood for with the whole Dylan Mulvaney incident. So therefore, I'm going to go buy a different shitty beer brand instead. It's not that crazy.
Of losers, but the problem is those losers can actually affect businesses, and that's what.
And there, Joe Rogan calls everybody who doesn't want to buy a Bud Light losers.
But they know now that it's possible, both on the right and on the left.
But they need to know there's so many more businesses in this country deserving of that treatment.
Right.
Fucking Ben & Jerry's, Starbucks, Target. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
And I don't care if they're left wing or right wing. It's just their fucking ideology.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when they cross that line and signal to people like myself and many others that they were okay with this transgender thing and more so at like, is this going to get directed at my kids? So you think fucking men should be in women's sports? Like, nah. That's where I'm drawing the fucking line. Get the fuck out of here.
Pretty crazy turn of events. You know, that Kid Rock and Joe Rogan are now... Joe Rogan at the very beginning was also saying it was stupid, but then he saw how big the backlash got, and he was like, you know, maybe these people have a point, and then he kind of jumped on our side and was against what Bud Light was promoting. Kid Rock was against it from the very jump. I mean, he was one of the ones that went viral first, shooting the Bud Light cans and stuff like that. And now Joe Rogan and Kid Rock are both saying, like, it's pretty stupid for you guys to be boycotting Bud Light and be against what Bud Light is for, or was for, with the Dylan Mulvaney promotion. I don't know. Pretty wild turn of events, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Do you agree with Joe Rogan and Kid Rock here, that we should actually bend the knee to Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney? Or do you think, you know, we should just never forgive and never forget what Bud Light did? Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you guys in the next one.